What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. It feels like such a long time since I've actually sat down and just spoken to the camera. Like, if you see my last video, it was the cinematic of the first the new lifestyle series. I think the video before that, it might have been a full day of eating, but we haven't done this in a while. So what I'm going to be doing today is starting off with a little product review. This company RCR actually sent me out one of their products. It's a pre-workout, and it wasn't a paid advertisement or anything, so this isn't an endorsed video. So a lot of their morals behind the scenes I asked them about before I actually took this product onto my channel, because I don't want to be that kind of person who's just pushing things onto you, which I don't personally believe in. And also, if I hadn't liked this product, I would have told you guys straight up. I was very honest with them in the email. I said, if I don't like it, I'm just going to tell them straight away. But honestly, I did think the product was really good. It tastes amazing, and I was comparing it against Ride the Lightning, which is a product I usually take. Again, not endorsed in any way by them. That's just a product I prefer to take. This is slightly lower in caffeine per gram, but the dosage is higher, so they're recommending 10 grams rather than the 5 grams of Ride the Lightning. So what I actually did was have a mini caffeine break for 3 to 4 days, just so I could give this product a proper review. It mixed perfectly, which I'll show on screen now. I thought the taste was actually phenomenal, and I asked for a blue raspberry because that's the pre-workout I would choose to buy if I went out to buy a pre-workout, so it was easier to compare. And as for the workout, I would say I had a really intense workout. That 10 grams fueled a leg workout, and it was one of the highest volume leg workouts I've done in a long time. I'm not sure if it was a placebo effect, which a lot of people say pre-workouts can be, but that being said, it still worked. Price-wise though, I do actually think it's extremely reasonable, so I'm going to pop their website up on screen now if you did want to check them out. I don't think they're an overpriced product, especially for pre-workout, and that's probably because they're not putting all those extra ingredients in, which they don't necessarily need. Overall, I think it's a great product. Let's get into the rest of the video. Today we're back in the gym, and I'm going to give you 3 exercises for back, which I think have added mass to my physique over time, this bulk. And these are 3 movements that you might not actually find in other videos. So these are the movements normally you would be told to do deadlifts and pull-ups, but I understand that a lot of beginners actually won't be able to do those movements. Basically, I'm going to take those movements and do alternatives for them, so even the beginners can do this routine. So I actually started doing this commentary over in the gym between sets, and I realized that I was leaving so much information out, and that's not what I want to be doing in a video like this, as this is specifically targeted towards beginners. Like I said, for more advanced lifters, I would recommend doing stuff like deadlifts and pull-ups. But for those who are just starting out, those movements might not be for you. You might not be able to perform a pull-up, and you might not be able to perform deadlifts. That being said, the exercise I'm going to show you today can be extremely helpful for assisting movements like the deadlift. So the first exercise you're going to see here is actually the rack pull. I like to position the bar slightly above the knee, allowing me to perform only the top half of the movement for a deadlift. Really focusing on those back muscles. I'm putting a lot of tension through all of my back, my lats, and also my traps. Also, grip strength can be a limiting factor on back days or pull days, for example, and I think that rack pulls have really helped me out with that, as well as helped me to build my traps. So if you are an advanced lifter and you're struggling to build your traps and you haven't tried this before, give it a go. It is a lot easier to load up the weights and put your traps under quite a lot of stress rather than actually doing shrugs. Just make sure you're performing the exercise correctly and safely, and I promise you that you'll see gains from this exercise. The second exercise I'm going to be taking you through is actually the bent over row, and I do really highly recommend rows for the thickness of the back, not so much the width. That's where the vertical movements will come in, which will be next. But for the bent over row, you can see me here. I'm actually have a little bit of a swing, which I don't recommend. It can put stress on your lower back. But what I'm really trying to emphasize here is I've lowered the weight slightly just to show you that it's not a straight pull. It's actually more of a J curve. By performing that J motion, I really feel that it actually works my back muscles in this movement rather than putting stress on stuff like my biceps, because I do prefer the underhand grip. What I'm actually trying to do though is keep that grip as loose as possible and only focus on moving this with the back. However, I know that is definitely easier said than done when training back, because it can be a hard muscle group to control and contract, especially when it's not one of those muscle groups you can actually see working. I promise, just give it a go, lighten the loads, take your time with movements, and it will benefit you in the long run, believe me. So the third and final movement is actually the lat pull down, and this is an absolute savior for me in my routines. When I first started out, I wasn't able to actually perform a pull-up, at least to not as many reps as I'd like to be doing to hit hypertrophy zones. Don't get me wrong, if you are a beginner and you can still do 3 to 4, I recommend doing them because they'll get you into that range of motion, and it'll also help with the strength increases. But the lat pull down specifically, this will really help assist your pull-ups over over time, and you'll notice here how slow I'm actually performing the movement. This is full speed footage, it's not slowed down in any way. This is something that you're not able to do with a pull-up, especially if you're a beginner. Unless you're super strong with regards to your own body weight, you won't be able to perform repetitions in the high rep schemes as slow and controlled as this. Also, there are myths out there like the wider your grip on the lat pull down and the pull-up, the wider you're going to be able to build your back. What Josie's trying to show here is my hand positions and how I'm not that far away from shoulder width. I'm slightly outside of it. When you think about it logically, if you go for a super wide grip, your range of motion is shortened. If your range of motion is shortened on a movement like this, you aren't able to achieve full contraction. Full contraction is something I really work towards on the lat pull down, and holding it for a split second at the bottom at peak contraction will play a massive difference in the actual movement. You don't have to go heavy on it as long as you're performing it correctly, and holding it for that split second will make the movement 10 times harder. Also, one more reason why I actually love the lat pull down over the pull up is you're actually able to lighten the load and do drop sets with the lat pull down where you aren't able to achieve that with the pull up. Being able to perform these drop sets on the lat pull down will help increase your load over time and volume in general on both back and pull days. If there was one movement I could put in anybody's routine, not even beginners, for width of the back, it would definitely be the lat pull down. So I hope that was informative for all of you. I'm sort of getting back to my roots in this video and going towards the fitness side of things rather than vlogging and videography, which I absolutely love, and I love the way my content's actually going on my channel at the minute. There's lots of variety and it's nice for me to film like every single aspect of my life. But fitness will always be the main aspect of my channel, and it ties in so well with like my long-term goals. Plus, with all the new people joining university in September, there's lots of new people already joining the gym, and I think this content is valuable for them. So if you do actually know anyone who will find this video valuable, like a beginner in the gym, maybe a friend who's thinking about starting the gym, let them know, share the video and give it a like. That helps me out a lot. Subscribe if you're new, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.